Hey guys, I just want to have a wee chat about what's inspired me to sort of start going online and start making videos, trying to show people that you don't have to stay in pain. So I've always been pretty active and I've always sort of been involved in acrobatic world, sort of circuses and stuff. Now I did that for about 10 or 12 years before going off to a circus university. Where I specialised in basically throwing and catching people, basically. So it was all about, being strong enough to lift these, 50, 60, 70 kilo people. I was specialising in, it's called aerial cradle, so it's used as part of a flying trapeze act. It gave me knee and shoulder problems, but that was alright. I was able to work through that with the great physio that was there. So after graduating, I went on tour, and I went from training from 7 hours a day to basically doing a show twice a night or sometimes 3 times a day. We were flying every 2 days and they were sometimes quite long haul flights. So as you could tell, my body was starting, because it wasn't moving all the time, it was starting to get a bit grumpy, shall we say, when I did ask it to move, because I was sitting for 6 hours on a flight and then having to go into a hotel bed that might not be that great, get up the next day, do a show where I'm full of energy and moving and climbing and everything, and then go back to bed, not really warmed down because you can't really be bothered after the show. So obviously that started giving me quite bad habits, and that it was fine. I was compensating, my body was compensating subconsciously, compensating, fine, until I couldn't compensate anymore. And this happened after my tour. I was back home, I was training, it was 2013, it was Russian bar, and the person on the bar was jumping and I just felt a little click, and it was fine. It was a bit stiff afterwards. We stopped the session, I went home, and then the next day I couldn't move. And that was me. I couldn't move for about 5 or 6 days. I think I was in bed. It took me about 5 minutes to roll over to get out of the bed. I couldn't turn over. When I was sleeping, I couldn't roll over in bed. I physically could not move. I remember being in so much pain. I just wanted to die. I'd had enough. I couldn't put my socks on, couldn't tie my shoelaces. Now that went on for about 8 months. At least 8 months, and I was trying my best doing all these stretches and mobility drills and soft tissue work and really getting in there with a hard ball and foam rollers and all that kind of thing, going to physios. I was doing everything I could, and at that time obviously I was not being active at all, and I just kind of gave up on everything, just going to get a job on and off. The amount of pain that I was still in was honestly the same amount of pain as when the injury happened. The day after that injury, that pain level had stayed the same there for 4 years now. And again, I couldn't take it anymore. Emotionally, that was me. I'd had enough. I was going to do whatever I could to fix this. And I started realising that, Jesus, I know enough to get this fixed. I know enough physically to get this fixed. I've been training for years, I've taught for years, I know quite a lot about the body, how muscles work, everything biomechanically, how this goes. So I couldn't understand what wasn't working. So my wife, she had a friend called Luke. He did run and still runs this amazing company called AMN. Please check them out if you ever get the chance. They're excellent. I went to him years upon years ago for a session, and he did some of his neurology stuff, and I knew nothing about it at the time at all, and he was able to tell me basically that there's something not right with my lumbar spine. L4, L5, L5 and S1 were buggered, absolutely buggered. I went away and started learning about neurology. So the more I learned about it, the more I discovered that actually the body isn't just a biomechanical machine. It should be approached from a neurobiomechanical aspect, because everything starts and ends in the brain. Everything you are, were, feel, have felt, everything you've seen, memories, everything is all in the brain. It's all brain derived. It all comes from the brain, everything. It takes past experiences, everything, and to predict the outcome. It's a prediction machine, and it'll go with the sort of the most favourable outcome or movement pattern. Its goal is survival, basically. Your goal might not be survival. My goal is to get up and get down them stairs pain-free, but its goal is survival, and it thinks that my body isn't safe to get there without me getting injured. So what would it do? It would give me pain. It would keep me in pain to protect myself. And at the time, I didn't realise pain is the ultimate protection system. It's the A1 go-to protection system your brain's got. So the more I looked into it, the more I started learning about the effect neurology coaching and neurology-based mobility and flexibility and strength exercises had on the body, the more I started to get a little bit of hope. I got really, really into it. I started working on it, and lo and behold, it's worked. I'm now not pain-free. I'm mostly pain-free, but as with everything, you get flare-ups, but now I can manage them within a couple of days, whereas before I would be out for about a week, 2 weeks, without even probably getting out of bed. I had absolutely horrific knees. My knees are now nearly indestructible, same with my shoulders. You know, the only thing that flares up in me now is the very, very serious back injury I've had. I'm so robust now from doing this neurology-based mobility, flexibility and strength training that the brain knows that it's safe in any range that I decide to move my body into, and it knows that the progressions that I'm using to get more flexible and stronger and more mobile, they're safe, and they're all about convincing and letting the brain know that it's safe and that this is a beneficial range for you to be getting into. I need people to learn that it isn't just a mechanical aspect of getting better or training or anything like that. It's a neurobiomechanical aspect. You need to treat the brain first to treat the body. The effects that this has on people all around the world speak for themselves. So that's just sort of my story and how I get into the neurology-based sort of exercise world, so to speak. But if you want to hear more about it, sure, send me a DM or shoot me an email or a comment or anything, and I will tell you anything you want to know.